I'm back. All right. So, I always talk to you about things that keep coming up for me. So, what keeps coming up for me are strong-willed children, which I just did a video on. What has also come up for me, woo, squirrels in my mouth, like, is the three things that we can't control that kids do, and we have no idea what to do about it. We try to steal all the power away, but we can't because only they have the power to control them, right? Eating, sleeping, potty. Eating, sleeping, and going to the bathroom. We can fight as much as we want. We're not going to get them to enter REM sleep. We cannot force poop and pee out of their body. And we cannot make them swallow food and drink. So they have all the power and control over it. If you have a kid in your life that is motivated by challenge, choice, and control, they usually pick 1, 2, 3, right? The fourth one is talking, or all four of those things to fight about. And we put so much effort into making it better, and we don't need to put in the effort as we're doing it. So I'm going to give you a couple hints. This one is going to be about bedtime, because I get a lot of people like, they won't sleep, they need to stay in a bed, why do they come in my, it's all this stuff. So I'm going to give you a couple hints and tricks. Know that I know everybody's bedtime is different. I know that every child is different. I know that every family is different. And I know that every situation is different. So I am giving you like step 1 of making sure these things are thought about before we enter your individual, independent, specific routine, okay? So the first one is some kids need a visual. And I'm not talking about sticker charts. I'm not talking about any sort of chart of reward system or punishment system. I'm talking about a visual. We are going to brush teeth. We are going to put on jammies. We are going to read books. We are going to listen to meditation. We're going to go to bed. Whatever your routine is, make those visuals and put them up so the kids can see. If your kids are old enough, it's wonderful that they could get a dry erase marker and check it off. If they're young enough, they could just see themselves doing it. I did it for my son when he was little because he always fought brushing teeth, and I was like, that's what time it is. And that's what we have to do. And until that one is taken off, right, you can Velcro and take it off, or you can check it, but he was 2, so he couldn't check it. So we took it off, and I said, we're not going any further until you brush your teeth. And if we're still at brush your teeth when it's supposed to be time to read books, we don't get to read books because we've spent too much time brushing teeth. So you're going to try to figure out how much time for each thing. And when you go over, right, people are like, well, if you don't brush your teeth, you don't get books. Well, that's a punishment. That's a fear strategy. The love strategy looks really close to that. If you take too long to brush your teeth, you need to be in bed at 8. If you're still brushing your teeth at 8, there's no time for books. See how we keep the power in their court? So I know you know how to brush your teeth. So we're going to figure out how to do that best and quickest so we can read the books. The thing that we have to do is make sure we follow through. We are following through with, right? You don't say, you know what, we'll go to bed at 8:10. I feel bad because we should read books. I feel like a terrible mother. The books are off the table if they take too long to brush their teeth, if they take too long to put on their pajamas. So then sometimes kids don't want to brush their teeth, put on pajamas, do their jobs at night because why? They whine and fall apart. They say they need help. Change it to this. Oh, I'm not sure you need help because you've been brushing your teeth now for 3 years or 5 years. You've been getting dressed by yourself for so many years. I think you want company. If you want me close, just ask for company. I'm more than willing to talk with you through brushing your teeth, tell you stories while you get dressed, help you check off what you've done. I'll stay close. I hear you best when you say, could you keep me company? So telling kids to keep them company is much better than whining and falling apart and asking for help. They don't necessarily need help, but they don't want to do it alone, right? I was that kid. I didn't want to do it alone. We have to make sure we shut off technology 45 to 60 minutes before you go to bed. When you watch technology and you watch it for a long period of time, your brain goes into survival mode, which is fight, flight, or freeze. It is really hard to rest, relax, and self-soothe if your brain is in survival mode. You need to turn off TV, turn down the lights. If you allow a snack before you brush your teeth, it should be protein rich. Your body has to know, oh, hey, it is time to make the nighttime amount of melatonin so I can go to bed. That can't happen when you're watching TV. It can't happen when all the lights are on. It can't happen when you're loud and crazy. Your brain, you need to give your brain signals to like, whoop, bedtime, whoop, whoop, bedtime, whoop, whoop, bedtime. Okay? So no technology 45 to 60 minutes before going to bed. Turn down the lights, have a protein-rich snack. Make sure you're resting and relaxing. Sometimes you have to teach kids to self-soothe, right? 98% of the time, a challenging behavior is a lack of skill or an unmet need. Some kids don't know how to self-soothe. So we're going to have to figure that out. Is that meditation? Is that massage? Is that, right? A lot of people say counting sheep. I try to like squeeze my toes and then let them go. Then flex my feet and let them go. And go all the way up and flex my whole body. And usually by the time I get to my shoulders, I'm tired and I just drift off. That is my self-soothing. I did not teach myself that until after I had my son who's 7. We want to make sure that bedtime is not too early. I have a lot of parents being like, well, we start bedtime ritual at 6:30. I was like, my house, we haven't even eaten dinner at 6:30. So make sure we are not starting too early, and make sure we're not starting too late, because at too late, we're tired, and anybody else, when you're tired, you're a disaster. Yeah, same with kids. Okay, so we have to, what else? I'm trying to look, I made a list. You think I went on this and my squirrels just said it? So, okay, so we have visuals, yep. Oh, the last one. So some kids, when you put them to bed, you're like, oh, love you, kisses, mwah, and you shut the door and leave, and how many times do they make you come back, or come out, or come back, or come out, or come back, or come out? Right? So let's switch our brain from, oh, that's such a pain, I just want my time to watch Netflix, or be with my husband or wife, or have like human moments. We're gonna switch our brain from that anger to, I bet their love language is quality time. So my son is 7. My husband and I still sit with him and wait for him to go to sleep. It's about 10-15 minutes. Sometimes it's longer, depending, right? If he fell asleep during the day, if he just isn't tired, right? I mean, everybody takes a different amount of time to go to sleep. But if we left the room, it would be, and it has been, when he's been little, hours to put him to bed, because he wanted us close. He wants me especially close. He would pick me to put him to bed all the time. And I read him a book or two, and then I sit in the rocking chair. I don't get in bed with him. I don't. Sometimes I rub his back. Sometimes I hold his hand. He just wants me close. And so in my head, I think, 10 to 15 minutes is way better than, right, proactively sit here for 10 to 15 minutes, because I know he's quality time by love language. So there's a book called Love Languages for Children by Campbell and Chapman, which is a great book to check out. And you can Google it. It's on the Google. So I know that about him. I know that he's touched by love language. So to sit there and hang out with him and hold his hand, what do? I save my emails for that. And I email people back while I'm sitting there for 10-15 minutes, and I actually get a lot of work done. So sometimes parents will leave, and then kids keep chasing them, and they don't know. They're like, but it takes so long if I sit in there. I said, I bet if you timed it takes less time to sit in there than it does to keep putting them back. And you've already set your brain up and your body up for staying there for 15 minutes. The problem is you don't set your brain up for him coming out and going in, coming out and going in, or you do, and there's anxiety and stress related to that. All right. So visuals, know what their love language is, low lights, protein-rich snack, 45 to 60 minutes with the technology. I hear you best when you ask if you can have company. I would love to keep you company. I'll stay close and tell you stories and talk about the day. Know how long it takes you to do certain amount of things and change the fear-based strategies to a love-based strategy. And I think that's it for bedtime. If you know where to find me if you have questions, because I know everything is very individual. And I am going to do the morning routine one, and I'm going to do potty, and I'm going to do eating. So this is part 1 of part 4. Okay, thanks guys. Bye.